So here the air is going into the lungs and coming out of the lungs with the help of three types of pressure. One is intrapulmonary pressure, other name is called the intra-alveolar pressure. Second one is intrapleural pressure, name is called the transpleural pressure. Third one is transpleural pressure. Okay, see here there is a three type of pressure which can provide the inspiration, expiration, operation in our lungs. One is a intrapulmonary pressure, second one is a intrapleural pressure, third one is transpleural pressure. So intrapulmonary pressure, another name is called the intra-alveolar pressure. Second one is a intrapleural pressure, other name is called thoracic pressure. Third one is a transpleural pressure. First we will discuss about intra-alveolar pressure measurement. What is alveolar pressure? Here the alveolar pressure is the pressure of air inside the lung alveoli. When the glottis is opened, there is no air flowing into lungs and also out of the lungs. There alveolar pressure becomes equal to 0 mmHg, and the force extended by the gas within the alveoli is called intra-alveolar or intrapulmonary pressure, whereas the force extended by the gas in the pleural activity is called the intrapleural pressure. Here typically the intrapleural pressure and intrapulmonary pressure is a lower pressure level. We can say it is having negative pressure. It is, when it is compared with the atmospheric pressure, it is having less than 4 mmHg, and so that's why the inhalation can be take place easily with the help of intra-alveolar pressure. So intra-alveolar pressure inside the lung, there is a negative pressure. What is the significance, importance of this intra-alveolar pressure? During the inspiration, we know that the lung volume is increased due to the increase of volume of alveoli. Result in lung is expanded. At the same time, the intra-alveolar pressure is decreased during the inspiration. During the inspiration, the alveolar volume is increased and alveolar pressure is decreased compared with the atmospheric pressure. Therefore, the alveoli, it is have a less than atmospheric pressure, about -4 mmHg. This is slight negative pressure which is used to take 500 ml of air into the lungs in 2 seconds. So which can be obtained during the inspiration. At the end of inspiration, the alveolar pressure becomes increased and lung volume or intra alveolar volume, its volume will be reduced compared with the atmospheric pressure. It is become equal to 0 mmHg. So due to that way we are measuring the intra-alveolar pressure. So this is the typical diagram for a lung. Here you are seeing the diaphragm, and above that thoracic. In a thoracic, the atmospheric pressure is 760 mmHg. For our reference, we are considering that as a 0 mmHg. Here there is three types of pressure have been created. One is a intrapulmonary pressure, second one is a intrapleural pressure, third one is transpleural pressure. So with the help of these one only, there is a mechanism of inspiration and expiration. In this case, intrapleural pressure is having a negative pressure. It is less than atmospheric pressure, relatively minus 4 mmHg. That means the intrapleural pressure it will be about 756 mmHg compared with the atmospheric pressure. And at same time the intra-alveolar pressure also having a negative pressure, that is about 760 mmHg or 0 mmHg relatively to atmosphere. Due to this variation, due to the intrapleural pressure and intra-alveolar pressure variation, the maximum amount of air is entering into the lungs. That process we are calling as a inhalation. After the end of the inhalation, we are having a exhalation. The exhalation due to the transpulmonary pressure. These lungs become equal to atmospheric pressure, that is equal to 0 mmHg. So that's why here there have been a mechanism, you can see it in a lung, and another one is a pleural sac, third one is chest wall. During the inspiration and expiration, what is the mechanism? So at the initial stage in the trachea, in the diagram which is given in a violet color, that is in the initial stage, that alveolar pressure which is equal to 0 mmHg. Here it is lungs having the elastic recoil which can be expanded and contract during the inspiration and expiration. And this one, it is tells about volume of air inside the lung at a functional residual capacity level. When there is a changes of pressure in the alveoli, that is a pleural sac, due to the negative pressure happened by the diaphragm movement towards the downside, there is a force which created due to the negative intrapleural pressure, that will be minus 4 mmHg. At the same time, some amount of air is entering into the lungs. At the same time, the chest wall is moving forward or elevated. So that it provides an elastic recoil of a chest wall. During the expiration, what is happening? The opposite changes occurs. That means alveoli, sac or pleural sac becomes positive pressure, that is which is equal to 0 mm Hg. Therefore, the lung alveoli collapse before the air is expelled from them. This alveolar pressure rises about to plus 1 mm Hg during the expiration. Therefore, this force can bring a 500 ml of inspired air out of the lung during 2 to 3 seconds of expiration. At the end of the expiration, the pressure drops gradually and become atmospheric gain. Next we will see what is thoracic pressure. How we can going to measure the thoracic pressure measurement. In a physiology, intrapleural pressure, the other name is called intrathoracic pressure, which refers to the pressure within the pleural cavity of lung, which is normally having the pressure within the pleural cavity which is slightly less than the atmospheric pressure. It is usually having negative pressure. What happened to the intrathoracic pressure during the inspiration? So during the inspiration, the thoracic pressure drops, which dilates the thoracic vena cava and which actually decreases the atrial filling. Therefore, the cardiac output which falls down, and also consequently atrial wall pressure also will fall. During these intrathoracic pressure, which increases pressure inside the lung and which retains the interrupted and cardiac output falls. So in physiology, intrapleural pressure is also called as a thoracic pressure. We have already referred. So these pressure within the pleural cavity, which is normally the pressure within the pleural cavity is slightly less than the atmospheric pressure. In what is known as negative pressure, when the pleural cavity is damaged or ruptured, and these intrapleural pressure becomes equal to or exceeds the atmospheric pressure level, it won't provide the negative pressure level. Instead, it will provide the 0 mm Hg or more than atmospheric pressure. So such kind of disease we are calling as a pneumothorax. What is pneumothorax disease? So the presence of air or gas in the cavity between the lungs and the chest wall causing collapse of lungs, which will be occurs when the pleural cavity is become damaged or ruptured. So here the intrapleural pressure, which is depend on the ventilation phase, atmospheric pressure and the volume of intrapleural cavity. At rest, when we are a negative intrapleural pressure is created, this gives the transpulmonary pressure. That means the lung pressure become a 0 mm Hg or positive pressure. In a similar term, if we didn't maintain a slight negative pressure, even when exhaling, our lungs would collapse on themselves because all the air would rush towards the area of lower pressure. Therefore, the intrapleural pressure is a subatmospheric one. This is due to the recoil of chest and lungs away from each other. This can be explained with the help of Muller maneuver. Can temporarily significant decreases the intrapleural pressure. Here the logic in the intrapleural pressure and intrapleural pressure is that the pressure becomes more negative during the inspiration and more positive during the expiration, and allows air is to get to the sac in the alveoli, which obeys the Boyle's law, that is a pressure P, which is inversely proportional to the volume relationship, and it can be eligible during the inspiration as well as expiration. Therefore, the pressure becomes less negative during the expiration. When we notice still there is a less atmospheric pressure during the expiration, and also note that the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is expelled and air is given out due to this changing of a negative pressure to positive pressure. The only difference in the pressures or intrapleural pressure is more negative than intrapulmonary pressure. That's why we are taking inhaling and exhaling with the help of intrapleural pressure and also the intrapulmonary pressure. So intrapleural pressure we are calling as a intraalveoli pressure, and intrapulmonary pressure we are calling as a thoracic pressure. So the factors, what all the factors is affecting our lung system? We'll see the physiological effects. One is a Muller maneuver. That means there is a forced inspiration against a closed glottis, result which become negative pressure that causes a problem for in a breathing. Another one is a deep inspiration due to the more negative pressure created in a intrapleural sac. So another physiological effects, the damage of intrapleural pressure and another intrapulmonary. So intrapleural and intrapulmonary damage. So following physiological effects are comes. One is emphysema. That emphysema is a type of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease will arise. Second one is a pneumothorax condition will appear. That means the presence of air or gas in the cavity between the lungs and chest wall, causing collapse of lungs. A person breathing at the rest inhales and exhales approximately half of a liter of air during each respiratory cycle. This indicates tidal volume. The respiratory rate is directly affected by the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood. Therefore, the lungs do not collapse after the forceful respiration because of a residual volume.